Howdy. Welcome to the Aggie Central podcast. For UP1s that have been with me the entire time, and for anybody that's joined me throughout this season, appreciate you. It's been a ride. 11-1 is nothing to be mad about, even though we didn't get the one that we probably wanted most. If you're here with me today clicking on that thumbnail, then there is no way you've got any battered Aggie syndrome. You're a glutton for punishment, man. You're tough as nails. I've got 8 clips that I'm gonna run through with you to go through this game and kind of give you my diagnosis, what went wrong. I'm pretty charged up about it. I'm not even mad about the loss, y'all. And I'll show you why I'm not mad so much about the loss as I am about some of the things that we did in this game. It was really kind of confounding. I'm just going to jump straight into it. I'm going to show you just a number of things throughout. Uh, some of the clips are not fantastically edited. It's all broadcast stuff, so you have to roll with me. But I'll make the points I think pretty clear as we go through this. So let's just jump over to the first one. Okay, so just to set this up a little bit, we are early in the game, and these will all go sequentially through the game. We're first quarter here, just towards the end. Okay, I'll let these clips play through, let you see these, and then I'll give a little bit of commentary as we go through them a second time. I thought as we went through these, we did a pretty decent job early on, but you'll see a glimpse of the issues right from the start. Just one more here. Clearly showing that this was not a catch. That play right there ate our lunch all day long. Okay, you've kind of got to see what was going on, so let's get through that bit. I want you to focus on a few things, a couple questions to ask as we work through all of these clips. Okay, first, I've had a lot to say this year about safeties and the safety play. They really uh, illustrate whether or not we're playing downhill, whether or not we're playing aggressively. Okay, so when you watch these clips, as we go through the rest of them, think about that. 2 questions to go along with that. First question: who's covering the fifth receiver? And when I say fifth receiver, you got to remember we got 5 on every play, and that can be a combination of 3 receivers, a tight end, and a running back. A lot of times the running back is the fifth receiver. Okay, first question. Second question: who's got Arch? Who's got Arch? Okay, so let's run through this a little bit slower. Right now, you can see we've got kind of 1 high safety, 4 linemen, 1 creeping up to that, 2 linebackers, and a couple of guys, kind of in between the dime and the cornerback situation. Okay. Okay, it looks like we're just trying to keep everything in front of us. It's not real clear to me if we've got kind of a zone situation going on, but because of the linebacker play, I think we're probably a little bit more in some kind of hybrid zone situation where we're not going one-on-one. Because if we were, why not send a little bit more pressure? Okay. Now it's first down, so maybe the thought process here is just let's keep the ball in front of us. Let's not give up a big play. Let's watch it one more time. Okay, looked like Dez was going to be on the play pretty good. I have no problems with that. Next play. Okay, the result's fine. We at this point we're going to rush 4, same as before, and you'll notice York right here in the middle. Okay, so I'm pausing it right here. Find York. He's right there in the middle by the hashes, and look and locate their running back at this point. Okay, he's right there next to Arch. Okay, and notice what our secondary is going to do at this point, because this almost exact play comes back later in the third quarter. Okay, watch York, watch where the cornerbacks go, secondary goes, and watch their running back. Now, as you saw, York was starting to go over there to take that running back because between him, let's go back just a little bit, between him and no one else, we're going to have to get Arch and the running back. So when Samford came off the receiver to go over there to get Arch, there was going to be nobody on that running back. Okay? No one on that running back. He was wide open. They was forced to the other side, thankfully, and there was some pressure. Bad throw. Fantastic. All right. It worked out in our favor, but that is what it is. Let's see. We got one more play for this clip. All right, let's go on. Hurry, hurry, hurry. Sorry about the clips not being perfectly edited, but you know. Now, this one hits it even more. You see the running back on the bottom side coming down even more. Let me back up just a couple of frames, right? We got 4 on the line with a linebacker somewhere in that area. Okay, York immediately bells on this right from the get-go, right? He was the 5th guy on the line. You see him belling. So this is very similar to that previous play, but this one looks even more how the last one did, or how it's going to look in the third quarter when we get there. So look at all of them. There's nobody within 10 yards. The running back is completely wide open at the bottom of the screen, just the same way it was before. And we got 4 rushing linemen, okay? So there's just completely nobody. Again, who is covering Arch and who's covering the running back? Okay? I mean, it's just free. It's just wide open. So at any given time on these few plays, and you saw it actually take a progression to almost get worse and worse. They're releasing 4 guys down the field past 10 yards at this point, and we are dropping back pretty much 7 guys. We're playing some kind of hybrid zone man. Some of the cornerbacks are getting on their guy much closer, and we have almost at this point no plan for what's going to happen with that running back and what's going to happen with that quarterback. Okay. Now, I've got some harsh things to say about this. Okay, this is already um, quite up there. I mean, like I'm very dissatisfied with this. I'm not sure what we were thinking, but do not mistake that for being extremely pleased with 11-1. Okay, I just don't know what we were thinking while we're doing these. That's it. Okay, so I'm not overplaying this because I think Elko is 100% the man right now. Just hear this for what it is. Okay. All right, next clip. Man, it gets into them really quick. Let me go back and pause it. Let you get look just to start off with because it was into the play just a little bit. Okay, a little bit different look. You got York right there in the middle, 4 rushing linemen, right, 4 down linemen, and the rest kind of playing a secondary role. Okay, let's watch the clips in their entirety. Okay, so you see Arch, you see the running back. Who has either one of them? Okay, who has either one of them? That's going to be the question. It's been the question. It's going to continue to be the question. We play another team that's similar. Man, we've just been seeing the blueprint about like what are we going to do now. This is something we just haven't done all year, in my opinion. And that's I'm not even singling out these plays. Like this is like the bulk part of the game. Okay, that this has been our game plan for the whole game. We're somewhere I think into the second quarter at this point. You're going to see the very similar stuff. York is going to go out and take the running back, right? So we've got 4 rushers. York takes the running back, and what's that do? Leaves a dump truck that could be run through right in the center of the field. Absolute dump truck. Look at the size of this hole. Oh my Lord. So I guess the idea was for our defensive line to pinch in. And there's going to be a pretty decent example of this, I think, later on. And I'll point out when it comes along. There was a time when we did this, and there was a time when we didn't, which was most of the game. I can't be in Elko's head or Bateman's head. I don't know if that was the plan or not the plan. execution at minimum was not there, and it to me it looks more like the plan was part of the problem. When you see York going out to take the running back, that that you'll notice that never gets adjusted for. So I've got a suspicion of what Elko's biggest weakness is. I'll reveal that to you at the end if you want to hang around. If you can hang around all 8 clips and watch this S show, by all means, I'll let you know what I think that is. So let's get into another clip. They come so fast, y'all. Let me back it up for you. You kind of get a look. This one was already just a little bit in. Now you see we got 2 linebackers of this time kind of hanging out back there. And so our DBs are really only comprised of 5 at this point. But look where Brooks is playing. He's playing right there on the first down marker. So he's 10 yards off. Something I would, from a safety standpoint, it seems a little weird from what we've done so far this year. But here's the clip. Okay, not horrible. We just weren't playing very aggressive. It's real close to having a negative, having us a TFL on this one. Just a couple things out of place. Okay, so I put this one in here specifically just to kind of show that I didn't think our aggressiveness was there pretty early on. We're just into the second quarter. And a lot of times when Chappelle is the one that kind of transfers to the other side of the field, he'll be one that's going to play again a little bit more man. And I do believe that's where we're at here with this one, and I do prefer man. I'm just not sure where the soft coverage comes from. It wasn't the worst play. I mean, if we had missed the tackle, could have been a lot worse. If we maybe would have reacted a little sooner, we could have maybe stopped him for about 4. But he's catching the ball at a 4-yard gain right off the bat. Uh, you know, not much more to say about it, honestly. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so hold off on this one. Look close, okay? You've kind of got 4 linemen, but one stretched out wide to the top. York in the middle there. Again, 4 wide receivers, a running back, and what do you got to do? You got to cover them all, right? Ooh, wait, watch this. Did he hand the ball off or did he take it? Remember, the question has been who has the running back and who has Arch? Oh, did you see it? Sorry, I paused it again because Howell down low, he jumps back off of his man to go take Arch because it wasn't real clear if he'd handed off or not. So whose responsibility on this play was it? Looks like it was the defensive end. And so I'm just going to point out, like, what does that do to the defensive end to have that additional responsibility? It's one thing for them to be attacking and have be able to be focused on the mesh point for the RPO, but is the plan here for how to keep him completely contained or take him outside? I mean, he's got the athleticism to be able to do that. But again, is that really our plan? Is that really maybe it's not a horrible one. Somebody does have the responsibility, but it's definitely not traditional. And I'm not opposed to it being a non-traditional role because that can confuse the offense, which I think was probably happening in the first half. But we usually play man on the receivers, which leaves somebody to be, more free to focus on that type of thing. Whereas the defensive line can focus on what they need to do. If he could have continued to crash down, would he have been able to make this tackle? Maybe, but he thought he had to pull off to get Arch, and so the flow of the defensive line didn't continue to go that direction. You've got some weird placement with both the linebackers that just made this not great. Again, I like the attacking nature, but you see right there between Samford and York, they just get out of their gap, honestly. And if you look from the backside, it was hard. You could see why that might have happened. And that's an in-play situation. These things will happen from a planning phase, that's where you're kind of like, I don't understand why we plan to do some things like this. Now, forget about this play for making that point, but the rest of them, when we're dropping back 6 guys to cover 4 receivers past 10, 15 yards, why are we doing that? Okay. All right, great. Let's go on to the next clip. All right, just pause this so you can get your bearings. You're watching this. This is an offensive play, the rare offensive play that I put in here, just to emphasize some things that were going on that I think we could have probably emphasized a little more. And this is to make a point, but our defense definitely was where I had the bigger issues. If we've got the interceptions by Marcel late. I think he was a little bit more forced into those. He can't make those still, certainly, but I think we were just pressing a little too hard and trying to make plays, and that's in large part why those ended up being what they were. He played really, really well early on. So watch this play. And Ruben he wants to have that one back. He just that play there is just so frustrating for him. Run it back. Okay, I want to draw your attention to the top of the screen though, because Craver's at the top, and you can see what they're doing here. They're really shading that way. I mean, this is set up like it's getting ready to be a screen pass, and good on Colin Klein for mixing this up. I think it was a really well drawn out play, and you can see the overload to the top of the screen. I mean, they've got 7 guys to the top of the screen. If you count the low safety on the bottom half of the field, it's just 4, and we're going to pull a guard or two and move everything that way. But watch Craver. Okay, so he pops out, and they're immediately attacking that right off the bat. The other guys over there, I mean, they're selling it all the way. And so, of course, Marcel can read this if he needs to, but he's going to give just like he needed to. Ruben makes a play, and man, he wants that one back. He probably thought he was going to house that one. Now, what I want to tell you about on this, when you go back and you look at the box score, we ran the ball 66% of the time. It won't look like that in the box score because Marcel had 12 runs. But if you watch the game, you can only see where there was one designed quarterback run. So that means he ran the ball, or that means that it was a passing play, 11 of those 12 runs. Okay, so you add that to the rest of the total of passes, which we had. There was something along the lines of, I think, 32 passes. That gives you something like 43 passes, and we had 66 total plays. It works out to right around 65% when I did the numbers or whatever. So that's how off balance this team was, right? And you see a play like that that's working. Again, I'm just going to say that if we're a play action team, it was off from what we're normally doing, offensively and defensively. The game plan to attack Texas, I just didn't see the point. You missed, I think I did touch on this in the preview when I did the matchup by position. I really thought we were going to attack this team from a defensively trying to push Manning to throw against man, to be accurate, put the ball exactly where it needed to be, have enough numbers to contain, but also apply pressure. We did almost none of that. I don't know. Maybe we did it a couple times, handful of times out of like 60 something plays, right? But that's not our normal MO. Uh, you know, that's typically 80% of our game, zone being like 20%. Running the ball from an offensive side of things is almost everything when it comes to a play action team. They played on defense a lot like how I expected us to play, and then we didn't. And it looked like it was just from a decision standpoint, not because like we're not playing with intensity. We're not playing with juice. I mean, we definitely played with juice, and we definitely got beat on some one-on-ones on the defensive line versus our D line versus their offensive line. Sometimes we just didn't win those, but I don't think we created enough havoc on the line of scrimmage to do that. Think of this as the scheme as like attacking. Are we attacking the line of scrimmage from a defensive standpoint? On this offensive play, we attacked the line of scrimmage. We drew up a great play, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to cherry pick plays and say that's, of course we got this one, so therefore we should have been able to do this the rest of the game. I know it didn't work like that, but you got to just see these to say this is not the kind of offense we tried to run, maybe even throughout. I think from an offensive side of things, we did a lot better than we did defensively. And maybe some things to grow on there offensively. Some things just I don't know what we were doing on like I think it was a 3rd and 2, and we threw this like 20-yard fade. Not sure where that came from. However, maybe it was called for. Maybe we were trying to get cute. Maybe we thought we could really get one deep. So now, have we looked at this play? Yes. Okay. So that we've already seen that one. Now, oh, get ready, y'all. Unbelievable. Here's another angle. Okay, thanks for pointing out that like him running sucked our safety up so they can make the throw deep. This play is just, it's key for this whole situation. And not having a plan for Manning made it where when he runs, and this happens so much against Arkansas. I talked about this. Y'all didn't get to see this one. It didn't upload well. I took a video while I was in Virginia the day before Thanksgiving about the matchup that happened between them and Arkansas, and how I thought we would maybe take some of what Arkansas did or take some of what Georgia did and put that into place. And it's an interesting question about whether or not you want to do what somebody else has done to attack a team because that's been shown to work, or if you want to continue to keep doing what you do, right? What you're strong at, do you want to do that, or do you want to shape your defense, offense to do what somebody else has done well against said team, right? And there's a couple different ideas about how to do this. Now, in the context of running the offense that you like to run or the defense that you like to run, do you see there being matchups within that context that work in your favor? That's one way to play matchups. The other way is to change up what you do, okay? It may be six one way, half a dozen the other. And that's a coaching standpoint, and you've got to fill out your guys and know your team. In this situation, this game, I don't think we did either one. I don't think we did what we normally do, and I can't see that we did anything that Arkansas or Georgia did against them. Now, of course, Arkansas lost, but Arkansas from an offensive standpoint was highly successful. We didn't slip any tight ends. We didn't slip any running backs. We really didn't have any designed quarterback runs as well. I mean, Taylor Green's probably just a little bit more dynamic runner. But you look at Georgia, and did we commit to the run like Georgia did? It looks like it on paper, but as I've told you, we didn't. We did not. We had somewhere in the neighborhood of like 22 runs, I think. It was 34 on paper, minus 11 that were scrambles from Reed, and you're down to 23 runs. It just didn't commit to it. So I don't think we did either one of these. And we definitely are not playing like we do. We're definitely not playing like we do. I'll show you a play here in just a second that's how we play. So getting back to this play, who's got the running back? Who's got Arch? Okay, we're going to drop six. Watch us drop six. York's right there in the middle. Okay, now I say we drop six, but the two DBs at the bottom, they take the two wide receivers. So they're basically kind of, man right there. One of them is going to go long later on. But either way, the point is for them to occupy. They're occupying our DBs. They're commanding a presence. That's what's important. The rest of them are getting dropped back. Now, we have 6 DBs, and so they are sending 2 more wide receivers down the field. And we've got 4 guys back there. Okay? Right? Because we've got 6. There's 4 on our defensive line, 1 linebacker, that's 5. There's 6 more to go, right? And so there's 6 dropping. But we still have to account for Arch and the running back. So we've got 4 linemen and a linebacker that have to figure out what to do with those 2 guys. Okay? And watch that running back right now. Look at him go outside. And where does York go? York does his job, in my opinion. That's his job. But what we don't realize is that he's doing the job that Texas wants him to do at this point, because we're completely clearing out the middle of the field. I mean, he could have run this, but we come off, and of course, then he throws. Okay? Did we adjust to this? No, we did not. So this is the one time that we can sit here and say our adjustments at halftime were just full on BPC here. Okay? So, yeah. I guess I've said my piece, but you can see this play one more time. It's the same thing that happened early on that I pointed out before, and here it is, third quarter, middle of the third, happening again. And they saw this and they utilized it. I mean, we're going to drop. When have we ever done this consistently like this? We're going to drop 6 on them, right? When? Okay. Let's go on. It's just a series of 3 plays, kind of showing you some good, bad, and ugly. Bad. The first one was good. This one's bad. Take a deep breath. And that was just kind of ugly. Like we didn't even play on the first play like we did the rest of the way. I mean, this is a great example of how you want to play. Let me stop it right here at the middle. Okay. Oh, now automatically down at the bottom of the screen, you're off, but it's first down. Okay, so he's playing what, 8 yards off. Got no problem with that. We got 1 safety. The other safety already started creeping down, right? So we are now going to be attacking the line of scrimmage, right? We're going to attack the line of scrimmage. They've got the safety. Not sure if you can see my cursor, but to the bottom of the screen, you have a tight end. So that safety can definitely key on that tight end if he's going to come out. Linebackers can do the same thing if that's going to happen. Otherwise, we have a presence on the defensive line. Watch how the defensive linemen react because of the style of defense that we're going to be playing from the middle tier, from Chappelle to our 2 linebackers and so on, okay? And I mean, I'm stopping. So you see, we're already in the backfield almost 2 yards because of this, right? This is, where are you going to go? But we come back with something like this. Okay, so look, we're definitely reading run at some point on this. I mean, Cassius is heading out to the right, himself. York's coming up the middle. That's fine. So we're kind of still rushing forward. It's a different look. The difference is that we're back here doing this like zone situation. I know it's zone because it's hard to tell from this angle, but look where Will Lee is at the conclusion of this. That's the run play, my bad. Will Lee's backing up. Will Lee's backing up. He's going to continue playing back up. So right there in the middle, he's not playing to man on this guy, right? And so they're playing the mesh, or at least the transition period, not the mesh. And this becomes a situation where I think Ratcliffe is aware of it. He knows to do it, but I mean they've been pretty good at attacking this style of defense. I'm just not sure why we were running it because they were good at it when Arkansas ran this. That's where I'm also getting this idea that I don't think we tried to do anything that anyone else did well, and we definitely didn't play the game that we played. If we'd been playing this, we would definitely be covering this guy. Man, our DBs can't cover this guy. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case, y'all. I mean, I just think that we probably got inside our own head about how we were going to play this game, and we just didn't commit to doing one or the other. We committed to doing this third thing that was untested, something we haven't done all year. And how do you think the guys are going to perform whenever it's not really something they've kind of got in their tool belt? I think it's a great point. I mean, I'd pat myself on the back if just to make a joke. I don't think any point that I make is ever any good. This is just for fun and the dumbest channel I think is probably out there, honestly. I love to be so self-deprecating because I just get such a kick out of it, like I know something. But the point is that, I mean, I just try and call them like I see them, right? Let's go one more of these. Let's go one more. Last clip, y'all, and I'll tell you what I think the Elko's biggest weakness is. Just gotta love this play. I mean, we're still in the third quarter there, y'all. So there's life left. We're rushing through. We're rushing three there. Oh my, Lord have mercy. Mm. 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 So good, bad. I mean, the sequence was like this almost every time. The good, the bad, and this is the ugly all in one. This is just a really bad bust. Nobody had him there. That's probably a miscommunication. I think you're going to get those miscommunications though whenever you're doing something that you haven't done all year. This is the first play again. This is the good. This is our defense playing good. We're up, right? We're up on the bottom of the screen, 4 linemen. We're also stretched out wide. They should have 2 tight ends right here and a running back, right? So they could do a number of things here if we're going to press. They could start their tight ends off by blocking and then release them in some way to get tricky, which is something that they've done a little bit of. Arkansas did to them as well. But watch us attack the line of scrimmage. This is how we play defense. That's what we're gonna watch it again, y'all. This is how we play defense. Did you see the safety? I mean, he probably could have come early, but coming late's a good way to mix it up. One more time. The bottom side safety is coming from the get-go. And even look at the top matchup, right? I think that's probably Des Ricks up there. He playing man on that top receiver. 100% man the whole way. So tell me, this is not the way that we're supposed to play our defense, okay? I think. So you've stayed with me. If you are here, you are strong because you watched this. Who wants to watch this? It's been a week. I've been waiting to show you this stuff for a week. Just kind of calming myself down. Watching it again is like, it's not even opening up a new wound. I really am not that worried about that. About it being an L. I hate it. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely hate it. But this is not the team we've been fielding for 11 games. The one thing that makes me the most worried about this particular game is because when we get to the next one and I'm trying to give you a preview, I'm going to be sitting here second guessing a lot of what I do. Whenever we had, so when I did that, I did a little pregame preview as a final thought. Again, I didn't get it uploaded because I had some issues with connectivity. But one thing I talked about in there is what I thought was the way that we would attack. Again, I mentioned kind of 2 things. Would we kind of go about it like Arkansas from an offensive standpoint, or would we, do this or do that? From a defensive standpoint, it was more about like, how do we normally play? And we don't normally play like that. from a schematic standpoint, okay? I know I don't know all the details and everything else, but you can just look at that. I've showed you the plays of how we normally play those plays versus how we did it in the times that we weren't successful. Okay, you can go back and look at South Carolina in the second half, and how we played so much more aggressive, even for LSU second half, and throughout the game. I mean, this was still more consistent in all those other games, but it's just like we get in our own head sometimes. I think Elko's biggest weakness is himself. I think he's his biggest weakness, as a matter of fact. And remember, take that all with a grain of salt, right? I mean, it's important to know thyself, but it is not some sort of like huge indictment on this guy. He has got the goods going on. I don't think we committed to the the style and or scheme that we needed to commit to for this game. I mean, either play what we're gonna play, like do us, or mirror what somebody else has done against the team. Okay, then make adjustments. This seemed like it was nowhere to be. Neither one of those were to be found in this particular game. So I think that will be good for him to review, to know. I bet he's more mad about him at himself than he is about anything else. Showed you the one play where the touchdown throw from Arch and York was going out to do his job. I mean, you can't cover two guys. You can't expect that. That's just that's a self-inflicted wound, honestly, right? So I am super excited for another game at Kyle Field. I mean, I'd love to say, hey, look, we schemed this one up just so we could get a home game instead of a bye, and get me back to Kyle Field so I can watch this team one more time this year. I am super thankful for that. But I am really worried about giving you the next preview because I don't know how that's going to look based off of trying to extrapolate what I think we might do. Because what I thought we might do here didn't follow either one of those things. And it could look like, well, we're going to try and do this third thing. So everything I give you from here on out now is going to be, well, if we do our thing, we will. I think this is how it'll work out. And we'll see. Sometimes Elko will do things that seem like they're not our strengths. Go back to, like, I think it was 2021 versus Mississippi State when we had that whole 3-down lineman debacle and dropping 8. No one knew what that was about, and it did not work out well. So it happens from time to time. I hope he learns from it. I think he's the smartest guy in the room, pretty much in any occasion, and I think he will. I hope he knows what the deal was. Of course, he's not listening to this podcast. I mean, who would? You guys are crazy for listening to this podcast. But either way, we'll see what we have to do. I'm excited for whoever the matchup's going to be. And either way, see you back pretty soon for that preview, okay? Peace.